TJ the Wheel Joe coming at you live. It is Friday, expiration Friday. What is the date? 3/28 at 10:46 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. Let's talk about the market. I don't know what's going on. I think there was some inflation news. I think the Fed said something or something about Atlanta. I don't know. The market, I think, is tanking. And that's pretty much all I know. So I'm going to try to pull it up over there on my CNBC and see what's going on. I made one move today so far. I sold 500 cash secured puts. Looking away from the camera because I'm trying to get the TV going. I sold 500 cash secured puts on CleanSpark. Why did I do it? Because I think it's just a great deal down here. So anyway, I got it on CNBC. Let me lower the volume over there and we'll see what's going on. I've got the link in the chat here specifically for Option. I would love for Option to join. I see a BR is joined as well. I want to talk some options. I want to talk specifically more about the naked calls because it is something that is new for the channel. It is not new to me. Not new to me. But it's new, like me presenting it to you, like showing you all that part of the game is new. So I'm being very, very careful the way that I disseminate that information because I don't want people following me into stuff and not really understanding how I'm playing it, why I'm playing it. And, I don't want to lead y'all down the path of financial ruin. NEO, we'll definitely get into it whenever I do the portfolio update. Got 5,000 cash secured puts open on NEO, and they're all in the money. So that's definitely a pretty worthy talking point for sure. So what I'm going to do is see if Option joins, and if not, well, we're going to keep the party going. First off, let's BR, how are you?
I'm good, TJ. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Just gonna do a real quick portfolio update and let people know how I'm sitting in the positions and what's the mindset, right? Because you have a mindset whenever you get into a position, and then the mindset potentially changes as the position is kind of like playing out. So I'm just gonna give you guys like an updated mindset. Like, am I looking to get a sign? Am I going to roll some positions because there's obviously a better entry point now? Have more information. Kind of like with NEO, things have changed a little bit because when I sold the cash secured puts, there wasn't the recent dilution, right?
Yeah.
And then now, boom, dilution, a lot of it, like 5 or 6% of the entire float diluted. So when you have more information, you have to look at it with the fresh set of eyes and make the decision, based on all of the information at hand, now, present day. So anyway, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, I'm hanging in there with NVO. The market's horrible today. I mean, everything is just a bloodbath.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, so I'm trying to get my mind around it. So the Dow Jones, according to CNBC over here, is 513 to no bueno.
Yeah.
And then it looks like the Nasdaq's down 186 points, or 1% almost. The Russell is red as well, down almost 2%, 39 points. And then the Dow, percentage-wise, the Dow is down a little over 1%. So, I mean, how bad is it? I don't know. It's all, you got to put it into context, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to pull up, let's start with the Dow, because I feel like that's the one that retail investors look at the most. I feel like that's the one that gets advertised the most. So let me remove this here. Let me go present, stop screen. Let me go present, share screen. And let's just look at the Dow and see, well, how bad is it really? Like, how bad is it really? So what I like to do is, well, let's just look at the 5-day. So if I look at the 5-day, it seems like we're up. if you look at the 5-day. If you look at the month, down only 3.5%. If you look at 6 months, it's about even. Year to date, it's about even. Again, this is according to Yahoo Finance. For the last year, up 6%. For the last 5 years, up 95%. Pretty crazy, right? So I think it's just a matter of perspective. Like, how bad is it? I'd say it's really not even that bad. I mean, when we're talking about year to date, it's basically even year to date. Again, according to this little basic chart here on Yahoo Finance. So now let's look at the S&P 500. If we look at the 5-day, it's barely down 1%. We look at the 1 month, down 5.7%. Look at 6 months, down 2%. And year to date, down 4.5%. Really not that bad. Look at the NASDAQ. If I look at the 5-day, down 2%. 1 month, down 7.5%. 6 months, 3.5%, 3.75%. And year to date, down a little under 10%. So that one's definitely a little worse than the others. And now let's look at the Russells, right? The small caps. Look at the Russells. Those are down 1.45% for 5 days, 5% negative for a month, 8.88% negative for 6 months, and year to date, 9%. So none of the major indices are even in what I would consider correction territory. And not just me. Those are generalizations that have been made several years ago, right? Like 10% correction, and then bear markets like 20% or whatever, right? From peak to trough. So when you look at that data, what does that tell you, BR? Is it really, really bad out there, or is it just your particular position that's gone bad?
No, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, TJ. I got in on Wednesday, right? 2 days ago.
Right, I remember I saw it on that.
I swear to you, I'm not saying I'm the bad luck, but the market has been tanking ever since. We haven't had one green candle, not just on my stock, on the whole market. So I don't know. It's just I ran out of luck or something. I'm still holding, of course. I have until January, but I don't know what happened. And then every second Trump opens his mouth, or Musk, one of them, the market just freaks out. And then we have tariffs on Wednesday, April 2nd coming out. So maybe that's another reason. And then last thing is the inflation data. The PCE came at 2.7 versus 2.6%. So it's just, I think it's just like bad news piling on top of each other. But you're right, it's really not that bad.
Yeah. So you're important. How do you say your name again?
Budwy, Budwi.
I'm just gonna call you Bud. Bud.
Yeah, it's easier. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Bud, you're important. You're real important to like your mom and dad. You're important if you have brothers and sisters. You're real important to those guys. Yeah. I'm talking to you right now. You're real important to me as a fellow human being. But to Mr. Market, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
I ain't shit. None of us here are shit if you combine all of us together. The market's way bigger than we are, so it's not personal. You know what I mean? And I can hear a little bit of emotion in your voice.
Yeah.
And it's because you're also 19, so you're showing a little bit your age here, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So what I want you to understand is stocks go up and down, and they go sideways, and it happens all the time. Whenever you're buying options, you have to be right directionally, and you have to be right during a certain time frame. So there's forces going against you.
Yeah.
And essentially, you bought leaps, I believe was your play on NVO.
Yeah.
And there has been negative price action since Wednesday. Yes or no?
Correct.
So it stands to reason that right now, based on where you bought the leaps and what they're going for today, you're underwater on those leaps right now.
Yes.
But there's still plenty of time on the clock, because I think your leaps expired January of 2026, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, correct.
So you have to play a game called wait and see. So all you can do, there's 2 things you can do, 3 things. 1, or 4 things maybe. One is you can do nothing, which is the one I suggest. Not financial advice, just suggestion. I don't want to get in trouble here. The second thing that you can do is, and maybe you should have already done, is sold some calls against those leaps to try to lower your break even, right? Because whenever you buy leaps, you have to pay premium. So you have a strike price, and then the shares have to go to that strike price.
Yeah.
Plus cover your premium so
Yeah.
that you're actually in the profit if it goes down to expiration, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I've already seen, based on your American Eagle trade, that you're a flipper, meaning you don't have any intention, I feel, of actually wanting to own those shares. You just want your contract to go up in value so you can sell it for more than you paid for it. Is that a fair assessment?
100%.
So you just got to wait until things go in your favor. And if they don't go in your favor, then I think at some point you need to have like a stop loss in mind. Like by this day, if I'm at like 25 or 30%, I'm just going to cut my losses and look for another entry point. If it's on the same stock, or maybe there's a better setup somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But whenever you buy leaps, you kind of have this idea that you're like picking the bottom if you're not scaling in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For instance, I bought 500 leaps on Sofi yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And my mindset was not, from this day forward, SoFi's going up and these are going to print money. That was not my mindset.
Yeah.
My mindset was like, if these leaps go down in value by 25%, I'm going to buy 500 more.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm scaling into a position, right?
Yeah.
I want 1,500 to 2,000 leaps on SoFi in lieu of shares that I ultimately want to have called away. Because that's the game plan. That's my strategy.
Yeah.
So, but I wasn't willing to buy all 1,500 or 2,000 in one shot because I know that I'm not good enough to pick the bottom or lucky enough to pick the bottom. So I bought the leaps. We'll look at them here in a second. I'm pretty sure that they're underwater too. Are they down 20, 25%? Very unlikely. And then there could also be, it's not just price movement, there's also IV, implied volatility, whether there's a contraction or an expansion, that's also going to affect the price of my leaps. You follow me? So I have a reason to believe that because the volatility is high year to date because of the new data that we have, the tariffs around the corner, I'm probably, even though there's probably negative price action on SoFi right now, having really looked, I have a feeling I'm probably not going to be as underwater as I would hope. You know what I mean? Because if the volatility is higher, that means that the premiums are more. And whenever you buy leaps, you want the premium, you want the IV to be lower. So if there's like an IV expansion, that's actually good for you whenever you buy options.
Exactly. 100%.
Whenever you're selling the options, you're kind of playing for the IV contraction, right? So there's gimmies and gotchas, right? There's double-edged swords all over the damn place. So anyway, let's have a look at it. I haven't heard back from Austin. It's my wife. 1 second. Not from Austin, from Option. Hey, baby. No, I just ate I just made eggs and bacon. I thought you were watching me on the camera, so I made that joke. Dang, did you just say you got better things to do? We'll cut that live on YouTube. I'll call you later, baby. I'm on YouTube. Bye-bye. We have a camera in the kitchen, and I thought my wife was watching me, and she said, I have better things to do. That hurt a little bit, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, wait, TJ, sorry, 1 second. My laptop's about to die. I'm just going to leave the studio and join from my other one, if you don't mind.
No worries, man.
Okay,
No worries.
I'll be right back.
So, anyway. Anyway, so let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. We're going to go here, remove this guy. We're going to go present, stop screen, present, share screen. Got to do the entire screen. We'll play this little game. So you guys see the kaleidoscope action? Great. Let's get into the portfolio update. We are bleeding, and we're bleeding in a big way, guys. I'm looking it up right here. We're only focused on the big one right now, 305,000 and no bueno. But before we get into that, let's look at the little one. What's going on with the little one? Get its ass kicked, down 10%, down $10,000 collectively. I got 1,000 shares of Neo. Just bought them today at 387. Like I said, can't pick the bottom to save my life. So it's not personal, but it happens to all of us. And then I've got 20 cash secure puts at 450. That's what's going on with Neo. And I sold covered calls on some shares as well. Yeah, I sold 10 covered calls on Neo at 450. I'm not selling any naked calls on the little account because there's not as much money to get out of situation. So you have to be careful based on your bankroll. Riot, got the 500 shares of Riot, and I've got cover calls against those shares at $10. So pretty good there. Sofi, got the 110 leaps. I bought 10 more yesterday. Getting ass handed to me on the leaps, down 37%. And then I've got the covered calls, or running the poor man cover call campaign on 100 of those contracts. I haven't even bothered to sell 10 more here. I could pick up another $140. So that's probably something that I should do. Let me do that real quick. So I go here, I go here, I go right here, and I could do 10. So I could do 10 just to bring some money through the door real quick. There we go. Y'all see how easy it is, how simple it is to sell options on Tasty. It's a lot faster than Robinhood, guys, once you understand what's going on here. So now I've got all that going in, bringing some money through the door, running the poor man cover call campaign because, getting my ass kicked on the leaps. And that's what's going on. There's still buying power there. So everything's okay. Everything's okay. So now let's go to the big account. What's going on with the big account? Start with Amazon. We've got the shares, getting our ass kicked on the shares. The shares are for sale at $220 for $417, up 87%. I've considered lowering the strike price on those shares. On those covered calls, but I'm going to wait until April the 2nd because we're going to have answers to the test, right? So we'll see how the market really reacts after April the 2nd before I make any moves in the portfolio, major moves. CleanSpark, new position. Just started it today. Again, can't pick the bottom to save my life. So I wasn't going to buy shares, but I made an agreement to buy shares. Cash secured put, 50,000 shares, 500 contracts. I was like, give them to me at $6.50. They paid me 26 cents a contract. And it looks like option might be coming on. So 26 a contract. Let me put this back on the screen real quickly. Copy for option because I just got a message from him. He may be joining us. So there it is. Link in chat. Message me when you are backstage. Got it. We're in business. So anyway, back on track, guys. I like to own these shares. It would be a nice swing trade. Buy them at $6.50, sell them at $8.50, something like that. $2 on 50,000 shares. That's $100,000. That's the way I'm thinking. Whenever I take on a position like this, I'm like, can I make $100,000? If the answer is yes in my mind, let's do it. Neo. So what's going on with Neo? So Neo is now at $3.78. So everything is underwater. Just look at that. Everything is underwater. We're talking about negative $151,000. What does that mean to those people that are new to this? What that means, if I wanted to say, hey, change my mind, I don't want to own Neo at 450 or at $4 because it's currently trading at 378. If I wanted to free up all that collateral, which is a lot of money, like $2 million or so, I'd have to give back $151,000 on top of the premiums that they paid me to get into these positions. So I'm not going to do that. What I am interested in doing, though, is buying some shares outright. Because if I'm going to have to buy some at 450 and I'm going to have to buy some at 4, I'd be interested in buying some shares, but not right here, probably in the 350 range. So I have two options here. One is to sell cash secured puts at 350 or just kind of let it play out. And that's what I'm choosing to do. There's still 20 days left in this contract. So I'm going to play for a little bit of a bounce. I'm definitely going to take ownership at 450. But if NEO keeps tanking, there's no reason to also take ownership at 4 and be completely underwater on the position. I will roll the 4s, add 45, 60 days to the contract, and try to go from either 4 to 350 for a break even, take all the collateral off the table, or just do a lateral roll. Just do a lateral roll and go from 4 to 4 and collect a shitload of premiums. So that is what I would be looking to do there. Option, my man, there you are. I'll get with you in 1 second. Let me finish a real quick portfolio update and I'll get with you. So anyway, that's what's going on with NEO in a nutshell, guys. Riot, what's going on with Riot? We've got cash secured puts at 750 and 7. Both of those are out of the money. How do you know things are out of the money? It's real simple on Tasty Trade because it'll tell you. If you don't see an ITM in the money, that means you're out of the money. And I added a couple of other metrics here that are really, really cool. I added the out of the money percentage and in the money percentage. So if I look at the $7 cash secured puts, 64% chance out of the money, 36% chance in the money. You know, just a nice little visual reference. It's 50-50. It's a coin flip on the 750 puts. Now let's look at the calls. 93% those bad boys expire out of the money. So somebody like options, like, well, maybe put those at $9. You know what I'm saying? Like, get more alpha out of that premium. But I'm not as aggressive as he is on that. Let's look at Sofi real quick. There's 150,000 shares. It tells you how we're doing on the shares. We're up 668,000, so decent still, even on this major pullback. Then I've got 1,500 cover calls, at 15, up 60% on those, 94% chance that those expire out of the money, which is really cool. And then I've got the leaps that I bought yesterday and down 10% on those leaps. I said I will buy another 500 leaps when we're down 25%. So not even close. It doesn't really make a difference to load up on more here because it doesn't really move the needle, you know? In other words, I'm not getting a great deal. I paid $283, and here I'd have to pay $255. Talk to me if I could pay like $225 or something like that. Then I'll be like, oh, that's a nice little average down for me. Soxl. This is now getting very, very compelling. I've got cash secured puts at 15, 16, 17, and I've got the naked calls at 23. I didn't even talk about the naked calls on NEO. It's the only thing making money in the portfolio today is the naked calls, baby. It's crazy, right? 40% on those naked calls, and really, really awesome, you know. And then I'm up. The only thing making money on the Soxl is the naked calls I sold at $23 with the same expiration date. So I'm going to try to extract as much as I can because it's like if the cash secured puts are going to get hammered, as the option says, you know, it doesn't really take you much to sell the other side. So might as well bring that money through the door. On Robinhood, I would have never been able to do that. So just look at all of the premium that I was able to collect on these naked calls. You know, about $17,000, almost $18,000 on Soxl. And we look here, there's extrinsic value of 10 and P&L is 7, so $17,500 on NEO. I mean, it's crazy. The premium that I was able to drag through the door just because I had already sold the cash secured puts. So, you know, those are calculated risks. You got to be responsible, but it's there to be had. Tesla, 6,500 shares. Up a little bit on the shares, not much. So about break even on the shares. I got cash secured puts at 200, 220, and 230. Gives you the percentages, 89%, 81%, and 75% that these would expire out of the money. And then I've got a cover call that is now turning into an 80% chance as well that it would expire out of the money. So I kind of in a nice little sweet zone here with Tesla. But we all know how Tesla rolls, guys. This thing could go to 330 or it could go to 230 in a matter of a couple of days. And then we also have deliveries, I believe, on April the 2nd as well. So I think volatility is in the forecast when it comes to Tesla. So that's what's going on with the portfolio in a nutshell. Let's welcome a good friend of mine into the channel. option, my man, Lamont Moore. You're not incognito today, baby. You got your real name out there. Oh,
Oh,
shit.
man.
What is up, my man? Always good to see you. You're a ray of sunshine when it's full of clouds out there.
Oh man, I tell you, man, I try to be. I try to be, man. How you been?
I'm good. I just want to know, as somebody that I consider a friend and even a mentor to a certain degree in options, I feel that there's parts of my game that I'm more confident in. I'm like I know that my knowledge is high and my confidence
Yeah.
is high and my execution's high, my results are high. But then there's other parts of the options game that I rely on you because you dissect these freaking deltas and shit from a different standpoint than I do, right? So I want to talk with you because you did join us on Wheelers and you haven't come on, while I started talking about like my evolution with not wanting to own shares. I want to get long with Leap so I could have more money on the sidelines to sell cash secure puts. I don't know if you caught any of those episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, how do you feel about those naked calls that I put on there? Because I used your words when I did it. Well, it doesn't cost you anything to sell the other side. And my goodness, that was about $40,000 that I was able to bring through the door against positions that I was already in and happy to be in. But I'm also real happy to bring that money coming through the door because I was like, well, two things can't be true. My cash secure puts and naked calls cannot both be getting crushed at the same time. They got the same expiration date, and it's a pretty wide spread.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think about it? Because I know this is a game that you play very effectively.
Yeah.
Definitely. Did you have that? He's all grossed up now. Did you have that little thing going in your head that I'm maturing as a wheeler?
Yeah, no question. I mean, you already do your thing, right? But I mean, just being on Robinhood wouldn't allow for you to, expand. So that's all it was, right? But now that you on Tasty Trading, you are able to expand. It just becomes, it makes all the sense in the world to do it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Now you know me, I it's a couple more things I will be doing with that, meaning taking some of that risk off that you've already collected, right? Don't need to keep it because the market could turn at any given time. So that's pretty much it in that regards.
So I want to dissect one of the positions, if not both of them, that have naked calls.
Mm-hmm.
And you're obviously seeing the way that I'm playing them because I'm playing them very conservatively.
Yeah.
So I want you to walk the audience through what option would be doing.
Okay.
To bring more premiums through the door because my understanding, the way that you play the game is like I'm going to be hella aggressive with my strikes because I already know that rolling is a big part of my game, and I'm just gonna. You're just like it's like a video game, right? If the price is here, you're moving this one up and this one up. Yeah. If it comes down, you're going here. You're just playing the game and kind of like keeping those spreads, and it's just business to you.
Yeah. It's all about the credit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to establish or create as much credit as I can to expand that break even so far out and wide that when the stock does settle down or volatility contracts, I take advantage of that.
Absolutely. So anyway, I'm just trying to catch up with the comments here, guys, and then I'm going to pull up the position. We'll start with Neo.
Okay.
Because it's a huge position, $2 million or so. And did we just lose option? TJ, you still trading Neo? I already talked about that one. What's going on, Danny? What's going on, Dex? What's going on, TJ? How much money will you make if Riot goes to zero? Not a lot. All the premiums? I don't think Riot's going to go to zero, though. Not Trump's fault. Mercury's up. There are companies which go up, and the Hershey's Mondelez are up too. It's not you, bro. Yeah, they're silly. What else we got here? BR, dang, you caused the market to crash. Y'all look crazy. Indicates low commitment. There we
Oh,
go.
happening now some way, somehow.
Did you switch over from hood to tasty? Is the mid mad? I don't think a mid cares. What's April the 2nd? I think they're just gonna implement the tariffs. I guess that's when they go into effect. So we'll see. Because a lot of people, whenever people in politics say something, they don't necessarily take them seriously. So it's it's one of those things, It's like whether or not it's all priced in.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Anthony, Julianne? There we go. Thank you, Julianne. Appreciate you. What do we got here? I am in the money, out of the money feature. You're welcome, pun. Hard to keep track of everything. Option doxing himself. Crazy. What's going on, Maria Powell? Hey, chat. Happy Friday. Does Lamont have an X profile? You do not have an X profile, correct?
Nah, I don't be on social media like that, man. I stay out of the. I can't deal with the comments, man.
Yeah, I hear you. It can definitely get to you. So let's walk through this Neo, because this was the first one that I sold naked calls on this particular tasty trade account. So essentially, I had the cash secure puts at 450 and 4, and then Neo did what it does. It diluted, right? Mm-hmm. And then so I was like, well, I'm already underwater on the cash secured put. So I was like, well, I can't be underwater on covered calls and cash secured puts with different strikes at the same expiration. So I was like, well, I can't sell covered calls because I don't own any shares yet. But then I realized that I'm on a more advanced platform. So I sold naked calls on 3,500 contracts because I already have an agreement to buy 1,500, contracts or 150,000 shares at 450. So I'm like, well, let me make an agreement to sell some shares at $5, even though I don't own them yet, because if it goes past 450, I have the money to buy the dang shares anyway, or I can always start rolling the cash secured puts up and collect more credit. I can go from bring the 4s to 450s and bring in more credits that way. And then I would just be babysitting the calls, the naked calls, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I also had the cash to buy the damn shares. So I was like, I really don't see the downside to putting these naked calls on right now. So that's the way that I'm playing it. How would you be playing it right now, given everything that we know? We know that Neo's at 377. So we know that the cash secured puts are definitely underwater. We have 20 days to expiration. So this is a textbook example of tasty trade because they manage 21 days to expiration, right? That's when you start the management process. So I feel like this is a picture perfect example. What say you, Option? Talk to me.
I mean, personally, like, hold on, I can look at it from yours. I will personally, I will be rolling out, right? I'll be rolling to the 49 day, I mean,
that is something that I've already looked at. I've looked at rolling the 4s to 49 and keeping them at 4 because that brings in a shitload of premium doing that. So it's about taking in more credits so that I'm better positioned to take ownership at 450.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
I will be rolling the 4s. I will hold on to the 4-5s a little bit longer because the gamma, can actually help you if we get a move up, right?
Yes.
So I will hold on to those and then probably roll those later, but I will definitely be rolling the 4s to 49 days.
Yes, and that is what, and I was going to keep them at 4 because I could do that for a credit if I roll them. If I try to go down to 350, now it costs me money.
Exactly.
And I wasn't willing to, because here's another little cheat code, guys. If you roll laterally and take in more credits, like you're aggressively lowering that adjusted cost basis. So it's almost like I'd be at like a 360, 370 cost basis here. And I'm taking in credits, which is more important. So y'all see that crazy ass credit right there? That's nuts, right? So let me edit order though. How do I do? Let me clear order for a second. So I go here. 1 second. Let me go back over here. So it was this guy right here. So So this is what I like about this thing. I just roll here, I just toggle here, and then I pick a expiration date that I like, which is this guy right here, and I click on it. But what I wanted to do here is because I know it won't get filled here because I've already played this game. It'll get filled right here.
Hold on. But try it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at it. So it's 45,000. So then now I'm gonna go back to edit order. Gosh, hold on.
Always.
There we go. There we go. Do y'all see that? Oh no, that's not what I want. That's not what I wanted. There we go.
And you can always just hit that arrow by the lock. It'll take it right up as well. The up arrow and the down arrow.
Oh, this guy right here?
No, beside the lock to your right on the 14, come down. Now come down.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's going to up the price and lower the price.
You love it, dude. So right here at 13, it's 45 grand. At 14, which it won't fill because the bid is 12 to 50. It's not going to fill at 14.
Yeah, let it sit for a second though. Always let it sit. I always do that. I always let it sit for a second, and then sometimes it'll just fill.
I've already had it on here for an hour and it didn't do anything, but we can do it. So essentially, I'm buying to close. Just so y'all know what's going on here, is I'm buying to close the $4 puts. April the 17th, while simultaneously selling to open the $4 puts. And the only thing that changed here was the expiration date. Added a month to the contract. So this is literally textbook the tasty trade way. The buying power is increased by $828, but I took in credits. So it's like you essentially agree to leave the money tied up for an extra month and they pay you 45. It's not going to be 49, but we're going to do it. It's going to end up being 45, and it'll take a while to fill, but it'll fill because I already did this on other accounts. So I played the game already. But imagine bringing in $45,000 and you don't have the mental pressure of having to own those shares right now. And then there's the off chance that NEO bounces above $4 at some point, and then you're like, man, I don't even have to own these shares at all, and then I can just keep selling cash secured puts, and you're realizing those gains without having the pressure of owning those shares. So that's the beautiful thing about this situation. Now, what's the gotcha? Keeps tanking at $2 at some point. You're gonna have to make good on this thing, right? That's why you should only sell cash secured puts on stocks that you legitimately want to own, because one day you might have to own them. That's just the reality. So we hit send. And then now the little W there shows that it's working. So we're going to go on with the show and we'll address this here in 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. And then that, for me, that 5, that call you got right there.
You would alert it before 50.
Yeah, that 5 call. I mean, right now you'll be holding that for the whole next 20 days, right? I mean, we have to be honest because it's only 5 cents, so it's got to have some value for that 20 days, right?
Right.
So you got value out of it, and that's pretty good.
Let me tell you what I was thinking about doing, and then see what you think. I was thinking about selling 1,500 calls at 450. Because I've got 5,000 cash secured put contracts, but I've only got 3,500 naked contracts on the call side. So I had thought about doing 1,500 naked calls at 450. Since I've got the 1,500 cash secured puts at 450.
Okay, that's fine.
That was my thought process. What say you?
All right, I would definitely do something with the 5. So the worst case you can do is go to the trade table. Look at the trade table.
Let me just make sure I'm clicked on NEO. Okay, go ahead.
And go to the 20-day.
This guy. Okay.
Yeah, because there's really no money there. I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just roll.
I thought about rolling everything to 450.
Yeah, you can roll that 450 out 49 days. And then take that 5 and roll that 5 out 49 days. And you can probably get that to like the 6 and sell the 6.
So what you're saying is roll the 450 puts as well.
Mm-hmm.
and then
You
roll.
want to keep them together, right? You don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to have different expiration dates because
Yeah.
it's to manage. So then roll these $5 calls as well. Maybe even put them at 550 potentially to have a wider spread, and then possibly tack the 1,500 contracts over there. And now I'm sitting on a shitload of credits potential.
Exactly, because go to your 49 day and see what it look like, how much you get, because that 4 cent ain't going. It's not doing you no justice.
Not right now.
Yeah. You'll hold that. You holding that forever. See, you can probably get.
Yeah.
Probably, I would go to the least. Me personally, I'm going to turn it into a straddle at the 4-5, but I would at least do the 5.
Yeah.
I would at least do the 20 delta. I would at least pick up, go to 5. Me, I'm gonna turn it to.
I'm already at 5.
Yeah, so you're
just roll laterally and pick up an extra 5 cents in credit.
Yeah. Personally, me, I'm gonna put it at the 4-5. Right. I got you. Because like I said, I'm not worrying about Neo doing too much. The expected move for that cycle is only 60 cents.
Right.
It's less than $1 move that is calling for, right? So, and then what I got to do is, for me, I have to reduce those deltas.
Yeah.
So, all right, put this on your platform as well for me, your net delta, so I can show you this real quick.
Yeah, I got you. So I'm already, hold on, I'm a little more hip now, right? So I go over here. That's what he's talking about right here.
Go to the trade
position first though. Hold on. And then click over here. And then he's saying to put your net delta over here. Yeah. Right. I saw it earlier. It's right over here.
Bring that in behind the earnings date, in front of the earnings date. All right.
The kid TJ learning how to navigate this.
Yes. Hold up. Was that? No, that ain't net delta. That's ETF deltas. Ooh. Go back to it again. Was that net deltas?
Sure is right here, net delta.
Okay. Well, we can go with that.
You have delta per quantity. You have gamma per quantity. You have that's the net delta. I played with this earlier today. That's why.
Well, all right. Come out of there then.
It does. I feel like it doesn't really give me what I was looking for because I had it on there earlier.
Delta per quantity.
Okay, so let me go this way.
And I think you might have I got to make sure that yours is under the spine, not
It is.
Put in front of the delta.
There we go. So let's. How's that look? No.
Well, yeah, you can leave it there. That's fine. Yeah, you can leave it there. That's fine because it shows us the delta. So that 4-5 right now is at 84 deltas. The put that you got, that one, yeah, for 20 days is at 84 deltas. See, I got it. You have to reduce that because that's like holding long shares.
Yeah, it's almost like owning the shares.
Yeah. So the echo. What's the echo?
I'm not sure.
All right, but you want to, if you're going to keep like a position like that, you want to. The thing is to reduce those deltas as much as you can. So the roll is going to be at least give you 10 deltas on a reduction, right? To the 49 day, and then by adding that other side with about 20 deltas, will kind of get you to around about 60 deltas, which is going to still have you more bullish, but at the same time, it's not as it's not as strong in regards to your down move if it goes against you, right? So yeah, that's what I would definitely do that if you're gonna roll that, because that 5 call that you're selling, you're gonna be holding that forever now, because it's only, if you look at it per contract, you only got 3 cents of value. You see what I'm saying? Left in that. That's the rest of the contract, because it got to have some value, right? So what you made off that's probably all you're gonna make. But it can go against you, right? And that gamma could pick up. You can't hear you.
I'm saying I've only been in that naked call for one day.
Yeah, but I'm saying you got to think about it. The value that's left in there, it's going to take 20 days because you got to have some form of value, right? For 20 days that's left. As a buyer, you bought that, so you got some type of value. As a seller, it's going to take you a long time to get that rest of that value out. So you just holding risks at this point with that.
So this is the one. So review and send mid.
Yeah, it's already at 9 cents.
There we go. So y'all see picking up $12,000 just for adding the month to the contract. So the other side of the coin is, well, why not take ownership? Because you might get more than $12,000 on the covered call side of things, and you take ownership of it. But we don't know if that's really going to be true, because if Neo is like at 350, it's going to be real hard to get any money selling at 450 unless I go like 90 days out or something like that.
Exactly.
So that's the reasoning behind it. And that's why the optimal time to roll, if you're trying to get a credit and give yourself the best chance to lower your strike price, is when you're right at your strike price or your break even. Because this cash curve is extremely underwater now, because we're talking about something that's like it's trading 70 cents under the strike price, which is not a lot if we're talking about Tesla, but we're talking about a $4 stock right now. So that's severely underwater.
And then it makes sense that if you can continue to take in credit and reduce the basis, why not do that? Why just take the ownership?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's why a lot of people don't see value in owning shares when you can just play this game. So I'm just trying to match it all up. Give me a second. But I'm really understanding how to navigate this platform a lot more option. It's pretty awesome. So it's already there.
Yeah,
well, this one's at 9. The other one was at 9 though.
But if leave it at 10. I mean, if you can get 10, I mean, like if it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, then you can tick down. But I'm always gonna. Now you can just tick down one and see what happens.
Yeah. So now I go to the 450s, and right during click on the W, right click, and now you can replace order, and then this.
Just hit your arrow to your left. There you go. Boom. There you go.
That's for the 93 portion. Yeah. So you see, so it's doing something. Yeah. So now it's working it. So I give it time to cook. So I would like for these to fill, and then I'll address the $5 call.
Bring the call down and see. Tick down. Take off one tick off the call and see, because then you have the call working as well.
No, the call is still sitting over here.
Yeah, that one I would push out, man. Because like you just holding risks right there, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you with that.
Right there. There we go. So I'm more confident over here.
That's fine.
I'm not wired like you are yet. So here, and look at that $27,000, guys. Keep in mind, Neo goes to like $8 overnight. These are the
if Neo go to
these are the gimmies and the gotchas.
No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. If Neo go to 8, it's still other things that you can do to continue to manage.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to think about it. Just because it goes to 8, that doesn't mean anything. With the credits that you have taken in, look at how far your break even might be 7, 7.5. So
now we got it. Now, hey baby, don't. Now we got it. What did they do to your hair? Did you layer it? Hold on, option. Did you layer it or what? Let me see. Let me see. Kristen. Y'all proud of me? I noticed that my wife did something to her hair. Not every guy notices that. See, I've been reading these things on how to be a better husband. You got to observe your wife, because they go and paint their nails a certain color that's different. They expect you to see that shit. We don't see that stuff. We're not wired like that. These are life tips right here coming at you from TJ the Real Deal, helping you to have it better when you go home. You got to notice these things about your old lady option.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel you. Always do. Definitely.
I'm like, dude, I was like, dude, unless you come home with a crew cut or something, baby, I'm not likely to notice. You know what I mean? But I made it a point to notice because she told me she was going to the hair salon. So I'm like, let me look at her and see, can I like legit see a difference?
Uh-huh.
So I'm so sneaky. I looked at our latest picture. You know, and I'm like, because I mean, some of these things are so damn subtle. It's hard for a man. Like the game's not fair.
Definitely.
But I can definitely see what she did, and I like it. And I don't want to know how much she paid because I might not like that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
So, anyway, hopefully, hopefully Neo will film. Now we'll address it here a little bit more. I'd like to bring Bud back onto the conversation. Are you there, Bud?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, Option? How are you?
What have you learned during
I'm doing good, thank you.
What have you learned during that interaction between Option and I? Because no matter what stage you are in this game, you're always going to. Everybody has a coach, dude. Jordan had a coach. Tiger had a coach. I feel like in some aspects, Option is my coach at times when we're talking about doing things that are out of the norm for me. He'll call me if he's got some issues with cash puts and cover calls, or God forbid he has to own a stock. I have to talk about it. Mara did him so dirty, bro. He's still in therapy once a week.
Yeah, man. Telling you. Them stocks, man. I can't own them no more. Mara hurt me. I'm still fighting it. That was around COVID time. I'm still fighting Mara. Never again.
That stock is so volatile. It's crazy.
Remember when Alex was rolling? Remember when Alex was rolling those covered calls, and you're like, he's going to be big, Alex, but
gonna be big Alex by the time.
Oh my god!
I literally got caught in Mara at $80, man. I got caught at $80. $80 in Mara.
No way. In 2021?
Oh
my god.
And still underwater, just been trying. I've been selling calls, above the cost basis, but still fighting it. But never again will I ever own another stock.
Did you go in heavy? Because that was like
a few. I had about 500 at the time.
Okay.
500. Not but probably about 500 shares. That's it. Nothing big, but shit, that was big for me, right? Especially doing it with shares and just watch it just tank.
Yeah.
I recovered on my portfolio on that.
Yeah.
But I'm still holding and still just selling calls, man. And I really don't want to do it because I don't like selling above like the cost basis like that. If it does, then but I just can't get aggressive in it.
No, of course. I'm watching the same thing with my stock, NVO, just tank completely.
Telling you, man, it's hard.
So whatever you picked up from this conversation, Bud, about me navigating this Neo position, because there's like a lot that people can learn from this situation here.
Yeah. I like it, honestly. I honestly do think it's going to be in a range. I think in the past 2 years, I think the highest was like 13 in like 2023. But like recently, I wouldn't be shocked if it does bounce to 8. But I think with the amount of credits and premium you're getting, the trade makes sense. Like it's profitable for you. You know how to play it. And then you said that you expect them to be profitable soon. So I definitely wouldn't be shocked even if it goes to 10 plus. It's a very liquid stock. The spreads are tight. I was actually looking at it last night. I was thinking about doing the wheel strategy on that as well. But like for me, I usually play like one trade at a time. But I do have that on my radar. But I've never sold a naked call against stock. The only time I've done it is just doing the wheel strategy. But I do like it for you, TJ, because I mean you know how to play it really well.
Yeah, definitely don't do any naked calls, dude, until you have a lot of experience and you have an adequate bankroll.
Yeah.
Preferably both, or at the very least, a lot of experience, and you're okay taking a loss before it gets out of hand. Because I know 2 buddies personally that have lost 7 figures on naked calls because they were just stubborn.
Oh my God.
They were just stubborn, dude. And it's just kind of like, this is the one thing that I've learned that I do offline. But again, there's wrinkles to my game that you guys haven't seen. You know, it's kind of like whenever you get married, they say it takes 5 years to know who you married. I know that's crazy, but I'm saying you got to go through the seasons a few times, right? With your wife. I know that my wife don't like the cold. I didn't know that when I first met her, but like in New York, it's like she loves New York indoors. but the minute that it was like 20 degrees, she ain't interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not her thing. And then it's like my favorite vacation we've been on together was when we went to Aspen, and I could tell that my wife was like miserable because it was so damn cold at times. So she likes the cold in spurts. But again, until you go through the seasons, you don't know that about them. So you need to go through the season selling options if that's your game, right? Like you need to go through the seasons, and I'm talking about like a bull market, a sideways market, a bear market. You know, crazy volatility, high VIX, low VIX, right? Like you got to go through the seasons so that you can be like, okay, my game plan works during these seasons. It doesn't necessarily work during these seasons. And then also like, how are you responding to the seasons? Because in 2022, the only money that I made was cash secured put and cover call premium. There was no capital appreciation to speak of. And then boom, 2023 looking like an options god all of a sudden, right? Because I had accumulated so many shares in 2022 and they paid dividends in 2023 and 2024. So I had amazing years, those years. But 2022 was tough from the standpoint that the only money that I could rely on was my little premiums. And luckily, I was adequately capitalized because a lot of times people are fully invested in the stock market, and then there's a huge drawdown, and they got no outs. Like you leave yourself without that maneuverability, right? Without that optionality. And so anyway, naked calls. No, I'm just saying have big knowledge. Have big knowledge before you delve into that world, because I think that it's a very useful tool, but it could also be very I think it's a sharp knife, and it can cut you if you're doing it irresponsibly, in my opinion. What do you have to add to that option?
You know, size matter in anything that you do, right? So you gotta, that's the first thing, is controlling your size. Now, if your size is in check, you fine, because remember, when we doing this at times where volatility is high, right? Yeah. So see, me, I'm gonna play the game when the game is suitable for me. But I also know that even if volatility ain't high, calls for the most part in certain stocks, calls will be priced a little bit higher because a lot of people like to buy calls. So as a seller, that's good pricing for me. So I'm gonna be able to get the distance that I need. And like I always say, and I will say it every time, it's all about the credits that you take in. You see what I'm saying? Yes, stocks go up, 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 up. But you know what? If you taking in enough credits, you are able to roll those positions. You are able to re-establish those positions. I mean, you're able to do so many things that you don't need a big move back down to be profitable or take a small loss, you know. But it comes down to the credits that you take in. That's why I'm never afraid of the call side. Like right now, I got a straddle in NVIDIA. But that straddle has helped me by selling the call side because I'm in NVIDIA. I got the 135 put. I just rolled it to the 49 day, right? And I done had this put forever. But by selling the other side, I've been able to reduce the basis, and it's down to like $25, a little bit more than $25, but I'm only down like $900 on the position because of the other side. So I mean, I always, as long as your size is correct, man, you'd be fine. And if you're on a platform where you feel comfortable with trading and understanding the metrics behind it, then it start making sense. And that's what I do. I just look at the metrics. If I'm looking at Neo and it's saying, okay, it's a dollar move, that's the expected move for that cycle, man, I'm gonna be aggressive. I need to get all of that. I need to get all of that money on the other side, right? And if it does go up $1, $2, I'm like, okay, well, that happens. Sometimes it does go, outside of the bell curve. It goes outside of that 68% of the chance moving what it's supposed to do. But at the same time, I know that it's at some point going to have to go sideways. And as long as I stay mechanical, I continue to roll, I continue to restructure the trade, it'll work out for me. So
I agree.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You good, bro?
Oh, thank you. I was gonna say, you do this full time?
Yeah. But I got a little different. I told TJ what I do. I mean, I have no exposure, man. I do it totally different. So it's not like I'm trying to. It's like I try not to. The stock market is the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But that's not like how I really try to make the money. I do something that's a little bit different. Which isn't different. I mean, I really don't get into it because everybody does things different. But what I'm trying to accomplish isn't a 1 day or 2 day thing. It's a 5-year plan, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of maneuver in with the market. So my thought process is more longevity.
Got you. So you don't really like interact with the shares. You're just doing strangles and spreads and okay, got you. That's
smart. Like right now, when I feel we in a little down market, 10%, 10% drawdown is like pretty decent, right?
Yeah.
So I get out of the stocks a little bit. I stay with the main ones I wanted. Then like now I go be aggressive in the futures.
Yeah.
So I did trade the ES or the micro MES. You see what I'm saying? So I'm bullish, right? Because we done failed, but I'm not going to do it with stocks. I'm going to do it with the overall market. And then I do it with the futures because of the, it doesn't cost as much. Well, it does, but you got span margin in what they use in futures. So that's how I get back aggressive with the market. So just,
got you.
It's just concept and approach, right? Like with anything and everything. And I always say, like with anything and everything, man, you can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. As long as you understand the concept, you'll be fine.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. So did it fill, TJ?
I've had some fill, not too much. I think I've had 93 of them fill so far. At 450, and I've lowered them by a penny.
Okay.
And I've had none fill on the 4s yet, and then I'm still waiting, I think, on the calls as well.
So, did you lower that a penny?
Yes. I've lowered everything, so we'll see. Just got to give the soup time to cook, because I think these brokers, whenever it's a big trade like this, they're trying to get it. They're trying to get as many lots filled for me, and versus, they got to let Tasty give them time to work for you. You know what I mean? Got to give them time to work.
They're gonna get you.
This isn't. I mean, we're talking about 5,000 contracts.
Yeah, they're coming get.
So it takes a little while. It takes a little while. Another one that I wanted to do here is, let me put, y'all aren't able to see here we go. So I have a bunch of cash secured puts over here on Soxl.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take in more credits, and it's also getting to levels to where I just want to own the shares as well. But I've got 15, 16, 17 for April the 17th, but I've got the 17s that are already in the money. So before it gets out of hand, I wanted to go ahead and roll these to that 49-day cycle. Like, I'm trying to do the Tasty trade way. You follow me? Like manage this shit 21 days to expiration. So we're pretty close. Exactly. So what I was looking at doing here was rolling this guy here to the 49-day cycle. That way everything's, and I just want to do a lateral move from 17 to 17 so I can maximize my credits.
Yep.
So right there, and then at 72, so essentially right in the middle. So boom, I bring in another 14,000 in credits just for extending the contract. And just again bringing credits to the door, because it's important for me, because it's to the point of where, like, even if I don't get assigned at 16 and 15 on April the 17th, I'm going to take assignment upon myself because I want to ride these shares up $2 or $3, but I want information from April the 2nd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to play this game here and see if we can get those filled. And I'm not all over at a penny, but I'm going to let it cook a little bit. And see that copper strip right there? That's why I love these, and you don't like these option.
What's that? The copper strip?
Yeah, that copper.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, because that's the expected move, right? No question.
It's serious option. It's serious, my man. Look at the way I played Tesla.
What about the 16?
Yeah.
What about the 16? Why you don't roll at 16? Because that's right at 16.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's out of their money right now. So I need to collect some more of that data. And I mean, I really would like to get it signed right here. But I mean, if like you can get them at 15, like why be in a hurry? You know what I mean?
Because how much you gonna pick up in credit if you roll that to the
well, man, I bet it'd be a pretty good option. I have a feeling
74. Okay. Yeah, you pick up 74, 75 cents. Okay.
It'd be another $14,000 and no pressure.
Listen, if I'm gonna get a sign, I'd rather take in as much more money that I could possibly take in and get a sign. You see what I'm saying? Because it can't, you just reduce that basis by another 74 cents per contract, right?
Yeah, pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy. Now at 15, I'm not even considering these because they're way out of the money. A and B, I want the shares, right? Because I want to run like an official strangle. And what I mean by that is they call them covered strangles whenever you sell puts and calls at the same time without owning shares. But to me, a true covered strangle is when you actually own the shares as well. And I want to take ownership of 20,000 shares here, but not here. Like, I mean, I'd love for the market to give them to me at 15. But if it doesn't,
15. Okay, yeah, I'm listening.
No, but I'm just saying, but if it doesn't, and if I'm successfully rolling the 17s and the 16s, well, then I can take it upon myself because I write up 20,000 shares, $2 or $3. That's a lot of money. And that's where I feel like I do have an advantage to a lot of wheelers, is that I'm not opposed to owning shares. I'm just getting out of the mindset of wanting to own shares for long periods of time. That's why I'm very aggressive with the cover calls that I have right now on Amazon, Riot, Sofi, and Tesla. I'm like, hey, these shares are for sale if you want them. You know what I mean? So let me talk to you about a mistake that I made. This is, obviously, some people could argue that the NEO was a mistake, but I'm comfortable with it, right? And that's where we have to run our own race. So we're not going to have that debate. But let me tell you all about a mistake that I made with Tesla. Yesterday, Tesla went to like $290. And I had the order to sell 105 naked calls at $350. And I didn't pull the trigger because I have 105 cash secure puts at 230, 220, and 200. And they're all pretty out of the money, but that could change at any time. So I have the cover calls at 300. And then I was going to sell the naked calls at 350, and it was going to pay a pretty substantial amount of money. Just do the math on 105 contracts. But I didn't do it, and I had already done it on NEO and Soxl, and I just didn't follow through. Well, those would be up substantially right now. And it irks me that I didn't execute the game plan because it was in my journal to do it, and I just didn't do it. That's what I'm saying. So it's just one of those things,
What about that XOXL? Drop that again, TJ. What you gonna do with that call, man?
This one right here?
You got 13 cents left per contract.
I've only been in it for a day. Not bad, right?
I mean, but think about it.
Hold on, I got some partial fills. I made a cool 10 grand in one day.
In one day, it's like, hey, wait for an update, throw it back on, right?
Yeah. So my idea was I'm trying to get these rolls in. I'm glad you caught that. So this is my idea. My idea is I want to roll the 17 and the 16 successfully, leave the 15 on, and then I was going to throw this one to the 49-day cycle as well, and maybe even go from 23 to like 24 or 25.
Yeah, that's
You're gonna have a wider spread.
That's cool, but that makes sense. But why not take that 58% in one day, and then when you get an up move in XOOL, then you layer it on because you're going to pick up more money.
Yeah. So we were just saying to just close it out and give that.
I mean, because remember,
$7,800 is a lot of money.
but that's if you're looking at it from the contract amount. But you got to think about it. It's only 13 cents left per contract. So my thing is, you're not gonna make that much more money because you got time value. It's still value in there. So the risk that you're holding more risk now, because if it turn around and come back up, that 13 cent gonna go to or that 15 cent gonna go to 21 cent.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And now you done lost that. And now if you have to defensively roll, you could have had that money, right?
Yeah.
But if you just wait for an update and then boom, tack it back on, you'll be ahead of the game. I mean, especially under 21 days, because remember, what are we playing? We're playing with the gamma, right?
Yeah.
So any gamma move against us is going to make that position increase harder. But it ain't gonna go nowhere because it's only like cents left. But I'm taking that. I got the cat. It's all about winners for me.
Yeah.
And as soon as the market go back up, you get a dollar move back up tomorrow, or Monday, you throw it back on.
Yeah. See, what I had thought about doing was going from here to here, but that doesn't make me as much money.
Yeah, and then okay, click on there. I want you to put another metric up here. Put the delta. You see where the delta, because you got two delta numbers up here.
Right
so
here.
go up to them little and change one of them. Change that to net change. Click on that, left click, and go to net change. Come down. Change, or not net change, just change.
Okay.
See, it don't make no sense to do that now because you can see that the value came out, right?
Yeah,
so wait till you catch an update on that, and you might can get an extra, 5-6 cents per contract.
Yeah.
That's why I would take that win and then wait, and when you come back, that you layer it back on, and then you're good to go.
I hate when you make sense.
Before you don't click it yet, tick down to the mid first. Edit.
There is no mid because it's only a 1 cent.
Let me see. Go ahead and
There's only.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
I've been doing this for a little bit too.
Yeah, no question. There you go.
Now it is. The risk is off, loser.
Yeah. And when you catch that $1 up move, or when on Monday, then you're gonna see that net change green. Then you layer it on, you can get that right back. You got to take the winners, especially in this market. It's so up and down. So you catch those winners on the call side, layer them off.
So this is the thing, guys. Like, look at it. Like, if I look at Soxl, this is the beautiful thing about this platform. You get so many. So, but look at Soxl, and I go here, options.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how it has bought, call. Well, let me go here, all time, right, year to date.
Okay.
Y'all see that right there? This is what options talking about. It's a game of credits and debits, right? So I don't know. Let's just talk about it for a second, guys. This is a huge teaching segment for a lot of newer people. I've already got net credits of 72,000 to the good. So keep that number in mind. Now let's go look at the position. So what do we have? We have an agreement to buy shares at 15. We have an agreement to buy shares at 16. We have an agreement to buy shares at 17, and it's currently trading at 15.98. So let's just assume ownership of the shares at 17 because the others are manageable, right? So we're only talking about being down 20,000 on those particular shares if you just look at the actual cost, not the adjusted cost basis. The actual cost Well, you're only down 20,000 on those shares, but you have net credits of 72,000. And that's why I played this game and aggressively trying to collect credits and managing accordingly before things get too crazy. You can put yourself in a position to where if you do want to own shares, you're doing it from a position of strength and not a position of, oh shit, I got caught my hand in the cookie jar. And because I can continue to roll this thing 49, 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, and keep bringing in those credits. And then eventually you have debits potentially because I have so many credits. If I'm like, this thing drops to like 13, why in the hell do I want to roll it at 17? Let me just give some of those credits back in the form of debits, roll it down to 16 and 15, and then take ownership there. And that's why it's important to maximize your credits.
Yep.
Because the biggest debit that you can face as an option seller is when you actually have to pay for those shares.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying, like, it's a game of math, right? It's a game of math.
Because if, like you said, if you got to roll down to the 13 now, because a lot of people do what? They like to sell a put, roll it to the next expiration, and then roll down. But now you're paying a debit.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But if you got the credits, it doesn't matter. You might can be in behind the stock.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like how you got those though. Staggered. You always got to stagger. I like staggering.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I got these working here, so I'm just giving them time to cook, dude. I'm giving them time to cook. And we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go back to Neo here and look at Neo. I got Neo, these positions, trade. So positions, what I see, 34, 11, and 89. Oh, because it already filled some. So because I've gotten some partials, like I'm going to let it keep working because, I got time, I still have 3 hours before the market closes. So I'll have to revisit these. I might have to, take $1 less or whatever per contract.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound, it's a lot of money though, because we're talking about 5,000 contracts, right? Yeah. So that's why you got to fight whenever it's this kind of volume. You got to fight for those pennies because they add up. They add up. So good stuff, man. Good segment. Good segment. I appreciate you guys. The game of credits and debits, man. It's a game of credits and debits at the end of the day. And whenever you are selling on what's high conviction to you, and again, this is where it's such a subjective game. Like I'm just showing y'all my Neo play, but I haven't once told y'all to be in the Neo play, right? It's a horse that I've done research on, that I continue to do research on, that I believe in. Is there a lot of risk? Absolutely. Is it for everyone? Absolutely not. But I feel like if I can generate enough credits, I can eventually take ownership of 50 to 100,000 shares, ride those damn things up $2 or $3 or $4, and I just made $500,000.
Yep.
But I'm willing to do it and to take on that risk because y'all see, oh my God, he's gonna have to own 500,000 shares of Neo, and I'm like, bro, that's the contract. But I'm gonna take this from John Henning, one of our members. We're all selling promises we don't intend to keep here. I am not trying to own 500,000 shares of Neo. I'm thinking 100,000 under the right circumstances. You follow me? Have Uzi back on. We have some bullish crossover on the charts or whatever. Like, give me all of the shit stacked in my favor. Talk to me about Abu Dhabi being like, hey, we got another $1 million bill for you, another $1 billion bill. You're good, Neo, for another quarter at least, right? Give me that type of catalyst before I take ownership of those shares. In the meantime, I'm managing. And then we're talking about, dude, Neo just needs to go up 70%. And I'm in the 70 cents, and we're in the clear. Dude, that could happen by lunch on Monday. I mean, it's not a huge move.
Yep.
It's one of those things. But anyway, it did feel good to take that $10,000 win in one day on SOXL.
I mean, think about it, bro. Like 50% in one day, like
crazy.
And knowing the metrics, like you because the contract got to have some value. So it's no need to fight yourself day after day, and then you get that one day where you done lost that 58%. It's now negative. No, not me. I would rather get out of it, take my 58%, and when it comes back up, I get back in.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if there's any way to make the numbers a little bit bigger on Tasty. So I actually have a call after this with technical support because I'm zoomed in as much as it will allow me to zoom in.
But you know what I think you got to do on what is that? What is that?
Let me put it over here.
Small in, you got to make this smaller. Your oh man, what website is this again?
This is the desktop.
No, I'm talking about the platform that you're using to do the trade.
StreamYard or what?
Yeah. What you have to do is our pictures. You have to make our pictures smaller. Is it a way to make those pictures? It's a way to do it because I see people how they do it. I just never played with the platform.
So here's another thing that I could do is I could go like this right here. Or take us off completely.
Well, see how it would look if you take us off. But I know you can make those pictures.
What does that look like?
See, now it's bigger.
It's bigger?
Yeah, it's bigger now. See, now I'm sure everybody can see it a little bit better. Just ask in the chat, how is the visual now?
Well, you just asked them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But see, that'll make it bigger. But I know it's a way where, I don't know, how you got it set up, but you can, if you hit the plus sign, see if you can make those pictures a little bit smaller, and then that'll kind of expand the
So on like if I'm on another website, like if I'm on an actual website, because that's not a website, that's the desktop, right? The bottom. You can do like command and positive.
Okay.
And that makes the numbers bigger, but it doesn't do anything when I do it on and I'm already zoomed in all the way. Like if I look at,
but that's what it is though.
Like, or if I go here, like so here, and then if I go here, right? So there's that. But I feel like I just put us on the bottom, right? Are you able to see the three faces on the bottom or no?
Yeah. Why don't you try to expand it? Yeah, expand that. Expand the platform more. Yeah, that's a little better.
But I'm saying like I'm already zoomed in, right? That's what I'm saying. Like I go here, if I go here to what is it, general. See, I'm already zoomed in at
120.
It'll do it, yeah. So there's that, and then if I go command plus, nothing happens. So if I go, like for instance, like forget about that for a second. Let's just say I remove that, present, stop screen, and I go present, share screen, and I click just show a regular website.
Mm-hmm.
You see that website right there?
Yeah.
If I just do command positive here, you see how it gets bigger?
Oh, how it zooms out. Yeah.
You see that? So the only other thing that I could do is I could go to Tasty Trade, the website, and log in that way, and then I can make the numbers bigger. But then that layout,
yeah, that's
kind of sucks, right?
I mean, on StreamYard, if you can get that picture a little bit smaller, that should give you more.
Yeah.
It should expand a little bit better.
I'm gonna talk to them. I'm just seeing that maybe they can give me a 130 zoom.
What just feel?
I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah.
90. It looks like I got 7 more on Neo at the 4 bucks, and then I've still got a long way to go on.
Yeah, they'll feel. They'll feel. Let them feel, man.
Nothing on Soxl.
Well, you might have to tick down and also put good to counsel up there when you you know. Okay.
Yeah. So let me click on Soxl. Let me deal with these one at a time. So Soxl. So click here. I got the 2 workings, the 17 to 16. So I go replace order. Just click it down 1. See what happens. Review. And we go to 16, replace order. Oh shit. Hold on. We in business now option.
Let me see what you look like.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get this thing to dance with me. $40 of them. Okay, well, we're working. So essentially now, let me go. I gotta hit present. I gotta go here. Present, share the screen. Here. Go this way. So what I got so far is Neo got 90 of them moved over to May at $4, and I've got 93 of them moved over at $4.50, and then on SOXL, I've got 140 of them moved from 17 to May, and then I've got all 200 of them moved at 16.
Okay.
Picked up a shitload of credits. So now we went to the thing where it's like it's all about credits. So now SOXL is showing net credits of 89,000.
Yeah.
So from 72 to 89 so far, right? And still don't own any shares. Still not severely underwater on any Casa puts. That's a very healthy situation, right?
And pull out that that little arrow up there by the account. That little drop out, that pull out box all the way up there in the right hand corner.
Where at, bud?
That arrow. No, not that. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
And that tells you right there, you got over $220.85.
Right here. Not bad, huh?
Exactly. And it's marking you have 409.61 and it's marking at 220. That's fine. You keep building that up and see all the green. That's what you want to see. Credits. And what you do is whenever you're trying to reposition it, you come here and you say, okay, well, I got this amount to work with. And as you go and you adjust your strikes and there you go. Let's say you give up half of that, right? That's fine because you bought back the intrinsic value.
Right.
I'm saying so it positions you even better. And it'll all come back. I mean, man, it's just playing for that move. And what you're playing for is like right now, it's at the IVR is at 64. You get the contraction, but see, you got to come out of it when you get the contractions, man.
Yeah.
If you still in the Sofi, go to Sofi.
Where are we at here? Sofi.
Is that the one? Yeah, see that January.
Oh shit, hold on. Something happened.
Oh yeah, you got so many contracts to fill. Is that the one you went out into January?
What are we talking about?
In Sofi? Remember you had bought the contract?
That's a different
okay, all right.
portfolio. Here the only thing I have is I have the covered calls for April the 17th that are starting to do okay. And then I've got leaps that I bought yesterday that I want to add to these leaps because in case you can't figure out what's going on with Sofi, there is I'm positioning myself with leaps to let the shares go.
Okay.
And I want to let the shares go at 15, so I'm going to keep playing that game.
But
and granted, I may have to get more aggressive with the covered calls, but I would roll eventually to 15. But those shares are legitimately for sale at 15. Okay. I want that cash because it's already shown me like the SOXLs, even Clean Sparks, right? All this stuff that I'm just as comfortable with is going to bring me a lot more static money than riding this roller coaster of 150,000 shares.
So let me ask you this: at 60%, right? Same thing we had. It's only 6 cents left per share.
Yeah.
Per contract.
Yeah.
Why not wait for an up move? Take the 14,000 off. Wait for an up move. And
because I want to sell those shares. I want to sell those shares at 15 because if you do $15 times 150,000, that's a lot of money. And I want to sell those shares of SoFi because
Okay.
that money on anything else is going to pay me a lot more premiums. The premiums on SoFi aren't that good. So the other things like, well, SoFi goes to 20, you have 150,000 shares that you're not participating in. And I'm like, that's why I'm trying to get to 1,500 leaps. That'll give me about a 60, 70% exposure, but a fraction of the money, right?
Okay, so think about this. Okay, you bought the 15 calls, 500 out in June, right?
Yesterday, June of 26. June of 26.
Yeah, but if you take off the 14,000, you have now reduced that position to only be down 4,000.
Okay, what now?
If you take off the 15 calls that you got, that only got it, really all you holding is risk. If you take off that 14,000, you have now reduced your 15 long calls to only being down 4,000. That's less of a move. It has to now go back up to break even or start making money.
Yeah. I feel like I hear what you're saying. I guess what I'm saying is I want SoFi to go to 17, and I don't give a shit. I want my money at 15.
But it ain't going to do it in 20 days.
But I'm saying, like, so then why wouldn't I? If I'm like so indifferent, I feel like I'm just pissing away $9,000 down the toilet.
But I mean, but
in my mind, there is no risk to the upside because I want to sell shares.
Well, the risk is $1 move up. If you get $1 move up, that now call is going to take on the it's going to be marking a loss, and we never.
But then that means that I just made 150 grand on my shares.
Oh, all right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, my thing is how I look at it is if I got long calls, right? If you're buying long calls at $2.83 per contract, anything I make on that other side to reduce the cost of that debit, that's what I'm looking at, right? Because I know that if I take that 14 grand off, I've just reduced the cost of that to 4 grand. I wait for an update at SoFi, and then I lay it back on. So now I'm back in it, but at least I'm getting more, more premium, and I have reduced the basis of the trade a little bit. Especially,
But couldn't I just sell 500 calls against these 15 if my intention was to bring some premium to the door? I mean, there's 500 more calls that I could sell right now because I have these long calls, right? Like, there's nothing to stop me from doing that if that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean,
so I could sell them at like 13 or 14 bucks if I wanted to. I'm just not looking for that much to manage because I feel like right now I got my hands full. I'm just look at all the positions I'm managing. I've got here we go. You see the thing's working for me.
Damn right, it's coming.
Oh, you see those 377? We got crackheads on 450 Neo Street. So those credits are starting to line up. Those credits are starting to line up. I started like 11/60. I'm starting like May 16th. It's the new April 17th. No shit. And Tasty boy. Tasty's at that virtual trading floor right now. TJ the Wheel Deal being a pain in the ass right now.
Hey, look, they gonna make sure you get filled at good prices now.
So look, what do we got here? We got. I can't even read this shit. Let's see here. So I'm still waiting on some at 17 and 16. I didn't mess with the ones at 15. There's no need to. Yeah, we just gotta let them do their thing, dude. I feel like everything's gonna say May 17th here on those two at some point. And now it gives me the optionality to take ownership of Clean Spark at 650 if I need to. I want to. And then Riot, my baby. That's exciting there too. SoFi is just boring already, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm losing my luster for my beloved SoFi. I think I need earnings again to get excited about the company again. I just feel like they're not innovating anymore. But then it's like I think of, well, they did that deal where they're going to make an extra $200 to $300 million a year, and it was exciting to me for a little while. But then now I'm like, why are people so excited about Robinhood delivering money in cash? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the market's acting a little weird right now.
Hey, let's do one thing. Let's look at the analysis of that. Click on all three of those on Sofi. Yeah, click on all three of those: the stock and the long and the call. The long calls. I mean, the short call. Click inside the 150 with 150,000 in. Click inside the highlight them. I mean, highlight all three of them.
I don't know how you're able to.
Click on and click on. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Click on the 20s and click on it. And then right click. Oh no, you unhighlight them. And I tell you what, just go to the trade table. Just go to the trade table. Okay, now hit analysis. So that's what the position to look. That's where you're sitting at now. So some people may want a visual, right? Now, and you have no risk to the upside. So what you're saying is true, right? You have no risk to the upside, right?
And mentally, I have no risk to the upside. Now I'm showing you on a chart. Yeah.
Yeah. Now pull out that sidebar again.
Which one? But
to the right, up to by the account.
This guy right here.
Pull out the sidebar and go to analysis.
Okay.
And uncheck the 150,000 shares.
This guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, so see with those calls, sometimes you have to be careful because that's just locking in a loss. Regardless of what you do, you just locked in a loss. And this is why I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about the shares. The shares are gonna do what they're gonna do. But if I'm looking at the calls, the short call and the long calls that I bought, so any movement, it doesn't even matter. You have locked in a loss, right? So the thing for me is like, okay, I want to reduce that. I want to be reducing that as much as I can. So if I do sell another call, at least I definitely don't have to worry about anything happening with the long shares. I mean, with the 1,500 contracts that I bought out in June, if it doesn't move, right?
The 500 contracts.
Or the 500 contracts.
500 are long calls, 1,500 are short calls.
Exactly. So the 500 calls. So see, without the shares, you just technically got a loss. But if we eliminate the shares and work that position, and that's normally how I do it. That's why I'm just sharing that thought. I just work the position. I want to make sure that, okay, boom, I'm not going to be losing regardless. Because in this instant, it doesn't matter what you do, you're automatically going to lose. You're automatically going to lose as time go by. So that's why I was saying, the more you can reduce the basis of how much you're paying for those 500 contracts with those short calls, you can start that can start turning green now. And regardless of what happened, you'll make more money. And then, just was the analysis I was looking at.
Yeah. No, I like it, dude. I like it. And I think if I wasn't so determined to let the shares go, I think I'd be more receptive, right? I'm like, dude, like I think if these damn things went to like 1,350, I'd be tempted to sell them all. No, only because I feel like I'm just going to make more money somewhere else with that money. But I don't have the exposure yet that I want from. In other words, I'd have to be willing to buy. How do I? Oh, there we go.
Now you know it's hard.
I'd have to buy 1,000 more leaps.
Okay.
To have the exposure that I want to Sofi to the upside. But the problem is I'm not negative on those leaps enough yet to justify it.
Well, I tell you what, okay, well, how about reducing the 1,500 to 750? Sell 750. I just feel you should take some money off. And I feel you should take some money off to reduce, just sell half of them. And if the market go back up, throw another 750 back on. I mean, you got to just take some of that money when you see it right there.
You beat me up already. Leave me alone, Option.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I got your best interest now.
No, but guys, y'all have to understand. Y'all have to understand what Option is saying here. Like, there isn't any juice in the lemon mathematically for me to have those cover calls on anymore. And if Sofi goes up to 15, I can always just sell the shares. I don't need the cover calls on to sell the shares, right? I can push those buttons, but at the same time, let's say there's a violent move to like 1350. Now everything that I'm up on those cover calls went away now. So now it's like, now I took a winning position and turned it into a losing position by just overstaying my welcome.
Exactly. I mean,
So I don't want you to think that I wasn't paying attention. I was fully aware. I'm just of the mindset of I don't give a shit about these shares no more. Fucking take them, right? Like forget about that. Just look at the actual trade. You won that trade already. Why is it even on?
now look at
It's kind of like I had already won the naked call trade on Soxl, right up almost 60% in one day. Mathematically, it's almost borderline retarded to stay in that trade.
especially when there's no more that much money left in it. Now, if you pull up your analysis page and look how that position look.
Try shift and plus. Hold on. I think somebody's saying I can make this name bigger. Is that are y'all seeing the platform right now or no? No, not yet. So what is it? Try shift and plus. So shift and plus. No, nothing.
Nothing.
Command plus. Option plus. Grok, make my letters bigger. No, nothing.
Expand it some more and see what happens. No, hit the green one. Yeah, hit that. I mean, it got a little bit bigger.
That's what she said.
But look, now do this. Go back to Sofi.
Go ahead.
And then click the 150,000 and then the 15 calls, because those are long calls now, and right click and hit analysis on that. Now you just got, if it shoot up and you want to get rid of it, you going, but there's no need to cap it if you already, that's just me. If I've made the money off it, there's no need for me to cap that risk. If it shoot up, now you got options like, okay, well, maybe I'm just gonna
ride them up a little more because 150 grand every dollar. So in other words, what you're saying is now I reserve the right to change my mind. Whereas I was holding my feet to the fire, right? Essentially.
And that position is only down. You got it. When you think about it, you took 14 grand off. So the long calls, you just took care of 4,000. I mean, or you just took care of 14,000 of it.
Yeah, because I locked in money. Right?
Exactly. I mean, it's a debit. That's the objective. The objective is if you want those long options right now, those long calls into June, you want to get them for free.
Right. So then now I got Sofi. And then options year to date, so I'm down 124 grand. So the question is like, how am I down 124 grand? I got an answer for you. It's because those long calls cost money, right? Those long calls are $283 times 500, it's $144,000. So that's why. And this is a new account, right? Not even a month old. So sold a successful cash secured put, sold a successful covered call, and that's it. But then I bought long calls. So whereas like on a position like Soxl, the only thing that I've done is take in credits. On Sofi, I have a big debit, right? And then if I look at Riot, we go over here to Riot and we go to this history, and I type in Riot. I haven't bought any long calls on Riot, so it stands to reason that this thing's going to be positive. And sure enough, it's showing $79,000, right? And then that's the thing. If we look at Dio, I haven't bought any long calls. The only thing that I bought to close is during the roll. So let's see how that looks. And we're approaching, $95,000 in credits, right, on Neo. And that's the game, right? It's just a game of credits and debits. This thing is just so superior to my beloved Robinhood. Robinhood just doesn't have these metrics yet. Maybe one. Hello.
Well, maybe you like Tom over there.
Hey, what y'all doing over there, guys? I was only sitting. Let's see.
You got what?
Now I'm seeing a lot of activity from May the 16th. There's 40 more.
Yeah.
$17. Hold on.
There you go.
It's cooking. It's cooking. He's cooking. She's cooking. Let's see what's going on here with Neo. So now we've got 99 cash care puts on 4th Street. And we've got 377 on 4.5. So there's still a lot of cooking to do left on Neo. And then on SOXL, just waiting on 30 more contracts, guys. Just waiting on 30 more contracts. Have a nice green candle, then maybe selling some $25 naked calls on May 17th. It's very appetizing. You know, but got to pick your spots with these naked calls. You want to have them on just for the sake of having them on.
Yeah, and they always want to sell them when pretty much when the market is going up, because you want to sell into that risk because your premiums are a lot higher, so you can get a little bit further back.
Yeah, so that's what's going on there.
Yep.
Looks good, man. I just got to let it cook. Just got to let it cook. Nasty day, guys, down 380,000. And that is just because Amazon's taking a shit, down $9. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have 10,000 shares, that's 87 grand. And this is, again, why I'm leaning towards not owning so many shares.
Yeah.
These drawdowns are just flat out nasty.
Exactly. That's the thing about it. That's what kills you. Your option positions are fine.
Yep.
It's the stocks.
Even this Neo one, I've already showed y'all 94,000 in credits. The P&L is 155. If I took ownership of all those shares, I'm easily going to collect 55,000 in credits to be right back to even. That's just the power of credits, right? I mean, it's the numbers don't lie. Your emotions will definitely lie to you, but the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah.
And then on hello, hold on. Got some more action here. Let's see here. I think now, boom. So SOXL is looking a lot cleaner. Put the 16s and the 17s out, collected a shitload of credits, and now I'm just babysitting the 15s. And now it's like I kind of like really want to take ownership at 15, so I can try to ride those up and make money, because I really think that 15 is just, it's exciting, because I mean there's 30 semiconductor companies, and at some point they're going to find a bottom. I don't know when that is. This is a triple leverage play, probably dealing with daily resets, NAV erosion, all these components. So this is not a ticker for, you got to have a real special temperament for this kind of thing, right? You have to have that risk, like almost like an adrenaline junkie type, but you got to be responsible with it. You know, like I'm very fortunate that this is 600 contracts and not 2,600 contracts. Because then it could be like, shit, man, that's just a little too out of balance. And you can even argue that the sizing at 600 is a little too high. Maybe 400 would make more sense for them to count this size. And then Tesla, again, just another, I feel like I'm not playing Tesla as good as I need to, because I feel like I'm kind of getting spread out too thin with too many positions.
Okay.
I was up 83% at one point on these $20 puts, or these $200 puts. And I had it on my notes to close them out. And when I finally went through my notes, now I'm at 66%. You follow?
Yeah, from 80%.
So that one irritates me a little bit.
Yeah, damn right.
Because we're talking about $20,000 35 times over. That risk should not even be on the table anymore.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Now it's the other things like, oh, it's Tesla at 200. And just in case y'all don't know, because I haven't, spoiler alert, but we're talking, it's just us girls on a Friday. You know what I mean? Tesla's the only stock that I'm trying to, like, Tesla is the only stock that I'm trying to own in the portfolio. I no longer want to own my beloved Sofi, Riot, or Amazon. I only want to own one stock, and that's Tesla. And I'm trying to get to 25,000 shares. And then I'm going to sell my puts, sell the calls, sell naked calls, go crazy with TSLL. And then whatever's left over, I'm going to go mess around with Sofi and Riot. because those are my other favorite stocks. Amazon was just there for portfolio margin. But there's more cash coming into the portfolio, so I created my own portfolio margin. You follow me? Like I don't need it anymore. But Tesla is my favorite company. It's my favorite stock. I'm Team Elon. I think that he's out there trying to do good stuff. And I know, you know how I know he's trying to do good stuff? Because a lot of people hate him. He's on the right track.
Damn right.
He's on the right track. When people hate you, bro,
You're on the right track. Damn right. Better bet it.
Was hated by a lot. He was on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't comparing Elon to Jesus. I'm just giving you a little parallel.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a parallel.
Yeah.
We all got to be reasonable and know that there's a lot of corruption in the government. We don't have to get political with it. We just know what it is, right?
Exactly.
We have Guinness Book of World Record stuff going on with people over the age of 114 in this country. And this is like I'm reading the Old Testament right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that the water was that pure and the air was that pure anymore, because I think that's why people maybe lived longer back then, if that's even true, or maybe the way the seasons rolled. I don't know. It wasn't there. Because you read how old these biblical figures were, right? Like Moses and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But we have that going on in this day and age, according to Social Security, right? Like saying they were talking about 10, 15 million people that are drawing Social Security checks that aren't even alive.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, bro, if that was any other company, if that was a company, like if the government was a company, I think Elon said it in an interview recently, everybody would be arrested and going to jail right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, and they police us, right? Our government polices us. Well, who polices them?
Exactly.
Like, how does that work? Who polices the police? I'm just, I've often wondered about that stuff, right? Like, how does that work? How does that work? So anyway, I just think that
it's all good, man. We $1 trillion in debt, man, and like he said, the interest is more than the defense bill. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, somebody, in order to get it in order and corrected, you got to make cuts. Like anybody else, like if you overspending, you got to cut some things, right? And unfortunately, it's happening to the people. I feel sorry for the people that's losing their jobs and things, but hey, where else is it going to come from, right? We got to downsize, right? Yeah. So it's like,
guys, it's already at 120%. That's what we're talking about. I don't know. We don't need to have a political discussion about it, but there's brilliant minds. There's a lot of there's. I think they did it might have been on Fox or whatever. There was a discussion about like an hour, like you can go about Deutsche, like, and it was like
they had a whole panel.
Fred Smith was on there. Fred Smith was affiliated with the FedEx, I believe.
Yeah.
There's the co-founder of Airbnb. He's part of like the Deutsche committee. There's a lot of smart guys and gals in that agency, if you will, the Department of Government Efficiency.
It's all good.
And I think that it should become like an agency. Like a permanent agency and not just like a project.
Yeah, that's smart right there.
I'm like, who polices the IRS?
Mm-hmm.
So now like you have an agency that would police the government and have like some checks and balances. But I think it's one of those, like, there's so many smart people out there and they know how to work the system and they extract billions and billions and billions of dollars. And it's like, well, the government's just a money printing machine anyway. Nobody cares, right?
It's fucked up, man.
And I just feel like, isn't that why politicians go in there and I make a lot more than they do on an annual basis, every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
What their salaries are compared to what I make, just as a middle America guy. That's what I consider myself, upper middle America.
Mm-hmm. I
make more money than they do on paper on an annual basis. Mm-hmm. But now, how did their net worths climb to 75 and $100 million? Bro? I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying.
So, yeah, sure ain't doing it selling options.
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Nancy Pelosi's husband is in the game and he's good at it.
Mhm.
So I've always taken that into account because that dude's legit good at his job.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, Nancy, I was like, well, I mean, dude, look who she's married to. I mean, do a little research before we just start talking shit on these people. Like, this dude is good at his job. You know what I mean? He's been good at his job for a long time. So, but everybody else, I don't know. I haven't done that homework. You know what I mean? So it just makes me wonder. So all I'm just saying, it just makes me wonder.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people that are going to be offended, you know, if this Department of Government Efficiency really gets into the weeds the way that it seems like they're doing.
Yeah. They in the weeds already.
Oh man, it's exciting. I got to run, man. I appreciate your help, Option.
Oh man, anytime.
PJ the Wheel Deal signing off with Bud BR Baller. Appreciate you, my man. As always.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
May your sky stay blue. Stock screen. Peace out. God bless you guys.
All right.